I had this thought that a lot of what we do is actually from our families. I think we get these keys to do things like my dad was a veterinarian, so I always felt comfortable with animals. And my family always was tinkering around with musical instruments and making up songs. So I kind of got the idea that I could be a songwriter. As far as the filmmaking goes, I remember one year when I was a little kid, my dad won an 8mm movie camera, and he immediately started documenting our admittedly quirky family. So filmmaking comes naturally to me. I actually am quite comfortable looking at the world through the lens of a camera. When I was 10, my parents took me on a road trip to experience the American West. I felt like the folks had handed me the keys to a life of adventure, and that I had explicit permission to travel for no reason other than the sheer joy of discovery. So looking back, it makes total sense to me that I struck out on my own adventure as soon as it was legally possible, and that adventure would include travel, making music, and filmmaking. I came of age during the golden years of hitchhiking, so on the morning of my 18th birthday, I stuffed a backpack with a few clothes, a harmonica, and a sketch pad, and struck out for the West Coast. I spent the summer hitching up and down Highway 101. I felt completely free that summer for maybe the first time in my life. I had nowhere to be and all the time in the world to get there. Of course, that kind of thing can't last forever. And 30 years later, I found myself holding down a desk job that no longer held my interest. It dawned on me that I didn't have that many years left, and I really didn't have time to do anything other than what I really wanted to do. I wanted out, but I couldn't see a way forward. What I needed was inspiration. So I emptied out my savings account and flew to Seattle. I rented a Volkswagen camper van and took it on the ferry to the Olympic Peninsula. It's hard to overstate the overwhelming beauty of that area. And I was immediately and profoundly hooked on the idea of traveling in a van, going deep into nature, and documenting that on film. I knew I was onto something, but in order to pull it off in the long term, I had to cut my expenses radically. When I came back to South Bend, I fixed up my 3-bedroom house and put it on the market. I found a smaller and much cheaper place in a mutual housing association. I worked out a way to eat healthy meals on $5 a day. And I stopped spending money I didn't have on crap I didn't need. The plan was to save enough money that I could quit my job within 2 years. At the same time, I began working on the skills I would need for my new life. In my next post, I'll subject innocent bystanders to my first attempts at playing music in public.